Again, we like to thank everybody for coming out and sharing this evening with us. For our Nate Benson family reunion, give yourselves a hand. Now we've had people travel quite a long way to get here, so I can't express to you enough how appreciative we are that people took the time out to come and see another part of their family. You know, it's easy for us to get comfortable where we are and not really travel too much or reach out to try to find out the history and lineage of your own family. But you've taken the time to do that. And we want to just make sure you know that we appreciate you doing it, because it's invaluable to each and every one of us that we reach out and see from whence we came. So we try to talk to young people about what's important to them in their lives, and I try to express to them nothing is more empowering than knowing and having knowledge of yourself. Once you have knowledge of yourself, there's nobody else can tell you anything about you or your family, because you already know that. You already know the truth about who you are, what you represent, and what you can do. And that's part of what a family reunion is all about. You know, at this time I'm just going to interject this. What we try to do is keep like a continuum of this going forward, but that cannot happen without the input of younger people. And we being, just say, elders in the family, you know, I along with others, have kind of matriculated to that point where I'm an elder now, right? But you have to accept and know where you are in life, all right? Accept and know where you are in life. I'm 62 years old, and I look around and I said, I can't believe I'm here, you know? Because I can recall when I was a little one, just like this young girl right here, I see young boys running around here. It seemed like it was a blink, you know, yesterday, you know, it wasn't long before that. You know, my Aunt Mary Rose out there, put your hand up, my Uncle Willie out there, my Auntie Henrietta Cooper out there, put your hand up, all right? And all the others that I missed that helped to make me who I am. I remember, you know, coming up as a young boy, you know, listening to them, and them telling us about our aunts and our uncles and our great-grandmother and all those different things down in Alabama and throughout the country where people came from. But we can't do this without engaging young people, because if you think you're the only one that can do something, it's going to be over when you're gone. You have to reach back and bring them up with you, all right? You have to bring them up with you. Let them know that's the connection that we have. And a lot of times we've been accused of trying to hold on to the reins of power and not give these younger people an opportunity to step up. But we've done that. We think we have. You know, we all make mistakes. You know, I'll be the first one to tell you that I've made a few mistakes. Ask my wife, I made a few. But at the same time, you know, it's important that we do this because of this. I want the reunion committee that put everything together for this reunion to please stand up and be identified. If you can't stand up, raise your hand. Stand up for me. Now those are some of the young people in our family that we thought, you know, had the, let's say, initiative and the drive to get something like this done, all right? We could have very easily continued on the way that we were going, but you know, that would not have been for the betterment of the family. So we wanted these young people to step up and do it, and they took the bull by the horns. And I know they learned a lot. They learned a lot. Because they've seen, again, they were young people just like these kids sitting here, and they've seen us do different things. But now when you get a taste of some of these things, you realize that things don't happen by themselves. And nothing good comes easy, you better believe that. We know anything they're going to tell us about how difficult it was, we already know that. We wanted y'all to know it. We wanted y'all to know that, all right? And family ain't always easy, right? Family's not always easy. But at the same time, when it's all said and done, we are family. And we got it done. Give yourself a hand. We got it done. shows you the strength that you can do some things. There's going to be challenges, and you all met those challenges. You met those challenges. So again, that's really the reason why we're having a family reunion, so we can encourage these young people and keep things going like this. So my, again, that was a prelude to what I was supposed to say, all right? I'm telling a little bit about the history of the Nays Benson family, along with some of the themes that we adopted. Again, going back when we first started here, back in 1995, 96, actually it was like in 1992, it was just a thought. It was just a thought. And I engaged my mother and my Aunt Frances, who's not here, and they said that we should have a theme. If you look on your book here, we'll talk about this in there, it says on the back, we got our feet out the miry clay.
All right.
You know, and I remember my mother and my Aunt Mary Rose was specifically saying this. She said, put that on there. And I'm like, what is that all about? What are you talking about? Put that in there. So we had to check it out. So I went to my pastor, and I said, what is this miry clay thing? What is this? So he said, look up Psalms 40. So we looked into Psalms 40 about the miry clay. And Jesus is talking about the miry clay is a bunch of soft ground and muck and things of that nature. Is going to hold you back. It's hard. You can slip. You can't get your footing. It's unstable. All these different things, right? He said, but I'm going to set you, get your feet out the miry clay and set you on a stone for foundation so you can stay. Get your foot out the miry clay and step on a stone so you can stay. That gives you a good solid foundation.
All right.
So we chose that theme, that all of the challenges that we come up with, and it's not going to be easy, and you can't get your footing, you feel like things are bringing you down, and you're not sturdy on your feet. But once you step on solid ground in a rock, you can achieve many things. There's nothing that you can't do when you get your feet on solid ground and you get your feet out the miry clay. So that's the history of that. And that being said, my cousin Sabrina wrote a poem about that. And I'm going to have my niece Nia, she's going to come up and read that poem that Sabrina wrote, that we got our feet out the miry clay.
The poem I'll be reading today is called Got My Feet Out the Miry Clay. The heat, the rain, the mud on my feet, and times are oh so hard. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and Mom was in the kitchen, making biscuits with Aunt Peaches. Sweet love. Daddy's in the back room getting ready for a long, hard day. The rain, the heat, the mud on his feet. From sunrise to sunset, the heat, the rain, and the mud on his feet. Butter beans and cornbread make a fine meal after the heat, the rain, and the mud on your feet. And a long, hard day. Aunt Peach is gone. She headed north. Times are better. Uncle Link loaded up the truck and we head north. So glad I got my feet out the miry clay.
Thank you, Nia, for that. If you were able to hear her, she made some references to some of our past elders. She said, Aunt Peaches is making cornbread with that sweet lard. Aunt Peaches is Minerva, all right, Minerva Parker. And is somebody from Minerva Parker over here? Y'all know who Minerva Parker is? All right. Minerva Parker is my grandmother's sister. Florence Moore, who married Jerry Underwood. And my Aunt Mary Rose back there, she had a liking to Aunt Peaches, we say. And she named her daughter after her. Stand up, little Peaches. Stand up, stand up, stand up. That's Minerva again. That's Minerva again. And they said Uncle Link is in there. That's Lincoln Moore. Right. Lincoln Moore. All right. Again, that's one of my grandmother's brothers, Lincoln Moore. But we make these references, and you see the names start to repeat. All right, because we are showing homage to those who came before us. All right. So you see, you know it even in your own family, and you hear these names, Mary Jane repeating, right? We hear Minerva repeating. We hear Willie Benson repeating those names. Catherine. I'm coming to you. Catherine. They keep repeating. And there's many more because that's a connection from the past to the present to the future that's going forward. All right? So that's why you see these names repeating. So again, let me just go very quickly with this, and Drew, you can jump right up. We did this the other night at the meet and greet, and we had to have people reach out and try to see where they connect. And where did this Nays and Benson name come into effect? All right. Again, going back to some of the research that I looked back into, I was able to reach out to some people in Bessemer, Alabama, and Birmingham, the Nays family. My uncle Henry Moore hooked me up with Reuben Nays that was there, and he had a couple of daughters. One was named Betty, and the other one's name was Margaret. Now they had done some research there, and they got most of their information from the U.S. Census, and I was able to reproduce some of that information. But they told this story that created the lineage. That from the beginning, as far as back as we can know, we're talking about 1841. 1841 is when Frances was born. At that time, we don't even know what her last name was. In 1844, Jim Nays, a man named Jim Nays was born, a little bit younger than Frances, but they married. Jim and Frances married, and they gave birth to a child by the name of Mary Jane Nays. Mary Jane Nays later married a man named Pinkington Benson. That's another name that repeats, Pinkington. You'll see Pinkington as you look through the family tree. And also, you know, sometimes people want to name their children a male's name after their son and a female name after their daughter, whatever it is, but some people don't get everything they want, all right? You might be looking for a son, but you get a daughter, and I think this might have happened. And I think part of the family tree that shakes off in like Ohio. I'm not sure if it's Toledo. Is it Toledo with Pinky Lou? She was named after Pinkington Benson, but they call her Pinky Lou, all right? After Pinkington, who's a man. But again, these names repeat, okay? So let me go back to the lineage for a second. You got Jim and Frances that gave birth to Mary Jane Nays, all right? Mary Jane Nays gave birth to, and she married Pinkington Benson. That's where we all connect, all right?
All right.
And I'm gonna go through this for a quick second because sometimes things bear repeating, and we want people to fully understand where we are. I think there was probably about at least 10 or 12 of them in there, actually. Okay, from the union of Mary Jane Nays and Pinkington Benson, you have Charlie Benson, Ella Benson,
Yeah.
Lucy Benson,
Yeah.
Catherine Benson,
Yeah.
Mayliza Benson.
That man Liza, come on, man
You have Pinkington Benson Jr., Willie Benson,
Yeah.
Arthur Benson,
Yeah.
Nathaniel Benson,
Yeah.
Florence Benson.
Yeah.
Now the names I just named there, you know that there's a common ancestor in there somewhere for everyone. But I'm going to just tell you where that connects right here. Those people I just named are Catherine Benson.
Yeah.
Catherine Benson is my great-grandmother.
Amen.
Catherine Benson.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people in here can recognize, they may have come off the tree of Charlie. They may have came off the tree of Ella. They may have came off the tree of Lucy. They may have come off Mayliza, or Pinkington Jr., or Willie, or Arthur, or Nathaniel, or Florence. And that's where you have a common ancestry right there, and that's why it's the Nays and Benson family reunion. And the names will change as you go from there because people get married and they change. But that's where we connect. And without question, if you have any question in your life of who you are and where you came from, we want to clear it up tonight. Y'all family, Benson. You got your, yeah.